You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the first episode of, I'm going to say we don't really know the name of this podcast yet. It will just have a name, I guess, if we decide to make this a big thing. But just to kind of set a couple of things of what we talk about, we're going to talk about really video work and what it's like kind of in the industry of doing video work, how to get into it, the gear, the struggles, and how to build your brand efficiently from like the standpoint of a person who kind of does it now part-time, but maybe in the future full-time. And I'm also here with my guest Zach. Me and Zach have been doing business with each other. We're also best friends, but we've been in business with each other ever since we met each other.
Pretty much.
We've always...
A decade almost.
Yeah, we've always just want to be creative. And being creative is so cliche to say, but it is something that if you have it, you strive to do it no matter what way it is. There's people like me and Zach who graphic design, we do art, we do clothes, we do music, video works. I mean, we just podcasts, we do everything. And so we have a lot of, I would say, experience. That would be like the big thing. But this podcast, I really want to aim on some of the things that I personally do in videos. Mochi, this is not your podcast. Anyway.
Different show.
Different show. But I just want to I want to stem the listeners to understand that this podcast is going to be about ways that I feel you can learn from my kind of experience and what I've done on a daily basis and how I look at stuff from a person who's kind of in the industry, and hopefully it might influence you. So first off, we'll do kind of like an origin a little bit about how we started kind of our company. So me and Zach, when we started, our biggest thing was what was really popular in hip hop and rap, because that's really was like a good foundation for me and you. One of the big ones was Most Dope. There was Taylor Gang, Golf Wang.
Golf Wang. That was pretty heavy.
That's I think the biggest one out of those two. Those groups both had visionaries who wanted to do more than just music. They had more, they wanted to do videos. They did all their own videos. They did all their own clothing. They had all their own designs. They had different people with them to help build something.
It was an actual brand,
yes,
not just a crew. How kind of LCY started and has grown to what it is now is only because we're able to bounce ideas off each other.
And I think it helps a little bit now with me, like, so I'm about to be a business major. So like I look at stuff completely different. Like I look at algorithms, I look at numbers, I look at the people watching, I look at the content that I'm putting out, where like back in the day, did we ever really care about what anything looked like? We
thought it was cool.
Yeah, we just put stuff out, which is not how I think people should do stuff. So as a person that goes through Instagram, I think Instagram should be everyone's biggest fan when it comes to now branding yourself. Whether if you're a videographer or a photographer or you do music and stuff like that, if you don't have a following on Instagram, I feel like it's a little bit harder. Back in the day, it was kind of like Facebook and Twitter. If you weren't on Twitter or you weren't on Facebook, it was harder to have a following. Facebook is not really anyone's nowadays.
Yeah.
But there's a couple artists there that have like really big followings. They have a lot of group of people. But the main focus is networking. So a little bit of story about me. Me and Zach have been doing videos for a long time. And for a couple of people that don't know, I do hip hop. I've done metal. I've done everything. So like when I started doing hip hop in about 2012, Zach was one of the first people to like embrace it. He was like, dude, this is cool. Like you actually rap and yada yada, and you're not like the worst. And he saw like a potential in me, which I really liked. and we progressed and progressed. We did music videos. They were terrible. I mean,
as all first music videos are.
Yeah, they were bad. I didn't know what my sound was, but stuck with it. And if you go and you listen to now, and then you listen to like the original Shades or something like that, like the amount of progression between the two is just ridiculous. I'm about to kill this cat. Give me a second.
So Tim started rapping, and I would help him with really shooting the music videos. He would come to me with his song, and what I loved about Tim is because he could already picture the whole video in his head on how he wanted it to be and where he wanted this cut to be. And when I say this line, I want to be doing this, and when it cuts into this verse, we're looking at this. And so from a filmer standpoint, it was so smooth working with you filming it, because when it comes time to edit, it was like we knew all the shots that we needed, and we always had the shots that we wanted. And you were really particular. I guess this is a little bit fast forward a little bit too, but some of the shoots I've seen you be on that I wasn't a part of, that someone else has shot for you, you're looking at like a 6-hour day, and when it's all said and done, you don't like the video and you just don't put it out.
Yeah, which I'm so glad you brought that up. So and there was a couple of experiences in my life where I got completely tired of paying people to shoot my videos, because the only person that could ever shoot my video to a point of where I generally liked it was Zach. But Zach didn't have a good camera. I didn't have a good camera. So instead of paying these people to shoot my videos $300 to $500, I decided to focus that money into a camera. Which changed my life. 100% changed my life.
What was your first camera?
It was the Canon T3.
The T3.
And then from that, we got the T5i, which I still have.
Yeah.
So the T3, which is pretty garbage. It's not a good camera. I think it doesn't even do 1080. I think it does 720.
Well, at the time, that was
a really good
camera.
But and just to put in retrospect, me and Zach are both 26 years old, so we're a little bit older than most of the people kind of like starting up nowadays, because it's so much accessible. But when we were teenagers, it wasn't accessible at all. Like, minimum wage was lower. Cameras were, I would say, more expensive. Expensive. There wasn't easy ways to convert. There wasn't ways to get effects. There was before SoundCloud, it was before anything. Like, all you had was MySpace, or you had Bandcamp,
YouTube. If you could work the YouTube algorithm, even if you want,
it's such a different time for us. But at the same time, I think that gives us so much more clarity into seeing what it really takes.
What it takes now.
Yeah. Because like some of the biggest, we're from Birmingham, Alabama, for a lot of people. If you don't know, there's not a lot of stuff in Birmingham, Alabama. But the people that do work in Birmingham, Alabama that are huge, they network. And if we ever do multiple episodes, we do a lot of stuff. Networking is going to be probably the biggest part of this podcast. Just mainly because you just absolutely have to be able to talk to people. You have to be able to have all of this energy towards your craft and be able to network it to a point where when things line up, they line up. And they are executed just so efficiently and so synchronized that even if you do mess up, everything is still going to fall in place. And that's what I really love about video work is I've shot the worst music videos. I've shot the ones that like it makes me cringe to go watch them. And they would only be like 7 months apart from the ones that the first one I was like super proud of. Mm-hmm. So like there's a so let's go back into the day. Let's do 2013. So like 2013, Never Cool comes out, and Never Cool is my first mixtape I ever did when I was 19, 20, one of those, 19 or 20.
I remember going to the studio with you recording that.
My friend David Owens, we went to the studio and I recorded the 12 songs, 11 songs, one of those 12 songs. 10 songs, I think. Yeah, 10 songs.
Is this after graduation? Or is this before
this
graduation?
This is after.
Okay.
And so, so I record these songs, and I want to do music videos. And islands, we do islands. Then I got tired of doing islands, and I said, well, I want to shoot my own. So we try to do. So after I paid $300 for Luis to shoot my video, I was like, I can't keep paying $300 because I was working daily, so I wasn't making a lot of money.
Right.
And this is a big thing for a lot of artists now. A lot of artists around Birmingham, they're working these like 9 to 5 low-paying jobs just to get a video.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I shot a video for Ken Radin. Shout out Ken Radin. Dog Collar's doing pretty good right now. But Ken Radin works at Arby's.
Mm-hmm.
And he's working like 2 other jobs just to be able to afford promotion and stuff like that. Because he's so ambitious of trying to get something to pop. And I salute him for that.
Yeah, he
that's
gets
awesome.
it. He understands where the money needs to go to get him in the right place instead of...
Forgot, I got off topic a little bit there because I was proud of Ken Radin.
You were talking about how Luis, how you couldn't keep paying.
So I couldn't keep paying him this money because I didn't have the money. So we got that really bad camera and we shot a music video. And you remember what music video it was?
Wondering.
So we shot the Wondering music video.
I didn't shoot that. Did I shoot that?
Yeah, you helped me shoot it. We shot in my basement with the projector. You got a projector and everything.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
So like we shot like
we've shot so much stuff it just all kind of jumbles together.
Yeah. So like we did we shot on the projector and we recorded all this footage, put it on the projector for me to kind of watch it. And if we made that video today, it'd be incredible. It'd be absolutely incredible because I had the vision then. Mm-hmm. I just didn't have the resources.
Right.
And nowadays, oh man, I can make that video so well if I wanted to do it now.
So yeah, we were able to set up, pretty much build a set in your basement. And yeah, we thought the idea was there, but actually when it came down to execute it and then edit it, we realized it's not working.
That's one of the hardest parts about getting into film is one, trusting other people to do your filming for you and doing a video for you, and then you two like, you know, like you do a shoot and you're getting shot and you're like, man, this is going to be really good. But you have no clue what that person behind the camera was actually doing. You don't know where that camera was pointing at you. You just know he was in the direction.
Right.
And I have that sometimes. Sometimes I'm pretty sure I miss some of the best scenes in videos because I have to readjust my legs or my arms and the camera just shakes like crazy. Because not every single shot's good and not every single shot is bad. It's just, you know, you just never know what a video is going to turn out into until you look at it.
Right.
Like, it's why, like, when you're, like, writing a paper in school, if you wrote, like, an essay, you reread it because you're going to make sure you weren't just rambling or just... Because sometimes as you talk, same way as you talk is how you write sometimes. You think it in your head and start jotting it down and it, you know, is off. Mm-hmm. So, like, when you're editing a video, you're like, dude, I remember this part in the video is so sick. And then you watch it and you're like... what else I got, you know?
Yeah.
So buying, and I'm also, I feel like if we do a second episode, because I feel like we need a second episode if we do this. Mm-hmm. I think the second episode I want to be more in the gear episode, where we talk about more of like products that you need and stuff like that. So if you're liking so far what you're listening to, and we do a second episode, that will be more where we talk about equipment and that's a really good episode. I can tell you that if we do that, because I'm a big person when it comes to starting from the bottom, working your way up, and then even my future and dream aspects of what I want to do for more than filming, like everything.
Yeah.
Like this is the most passionate I think Zach's ever seen me look at, like about something, because this is a topic. These are topics that I live every week. And it's not, money's not even, like, money is a huge part of it when it comes to my time. Mm-hmm. But is it my everything? No. if I'd made zero money, I would still do it. I mean, 100%.
Yeah.
Money just makes it easier and makes it more aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
you can see where that could be intimidating to someone who has almost the same ambition that you do to start up video production.
Yeah.
But not the profit to invest into all this equipment, because jumping forward, I mean, we're doing the origin story and talking about how you got to this point, but somebody who scrolls through your Instagram page and is constantly seeing, oh, you got a brand new
camera,
$1,500 camera,
and then you get new lenses every week, and you get new stuff. And that's another thing is like invest in if you do start doing this, the money you make, invest it into other stuff, because the more things you have, the better. I don't know why I sound I was about to cry, but the more things you have, the more things that you have to better your production, the more business you're going to get.
Yeah.
So if you think about any big corporation ever to exist, imagine if Nike made like the most iconic, the ones by Michael Jordan, and all the money they got out of that, they just pocketed it, and then they didn't invest it into other shoes. You take the first check you get from anything, and you're like, dude, now we're gonna go
spend it all.
Like Shaq did. Shaq did the same thing. They gave him his first check. I actually watched this on Hot Ones, so it was pretty good. But he's like, yeah, he got his first check, and it was like $1 million. And then he went to buy himself like a range, and then he bought his mom one, and his dad wanted one too, so he bought him one too. And then he gets a call from the bank and said it was $50,000 over because he didn't think about taxes. Like,
boom, you're out of money.
Yeah, you're out of money, and you owe money.
Yeah. Damn.
And you're Shaquille O'Neal. Like, you just never know how things work. Like, and especially in this time and era. Like, for example, I just showed Zach a while ago a guy talking about Cole Bennett. So Cole Bennett is a huge director of videos, and he's literally the most popular director right now when it comes to artists and their popularity, especially for the rising and especially for his age. And when we get to the gear episode, I will definitely mention about what kind of gear he uses and what he started with and what you do. But like for Cole Bennett, for example, they said in that video, he shot 138 videos.
Something like that, yeah.
Before he got his first hit video.
Right.
Okay. So what would you consider my one hit video that I've done so far?
I guess I would say All Hell, because that's like the first video that hit like...
Or a 205.
205, yeah.
So, and 205, by the way, for anyone that's ever listened to Carlisle Jones, 205 is off my album All Hell from 2015 that Zach shot and directed and... Well, you shot and co-directed.
Right,
we do both of it. But he edited the whole thing. I didn't edit one part of that entire video. Zach did all of it. And that video is still incredible today. It looks incredible, and I can't believe the gear we had when we made that video.
Right.
Because we had no clue about ISO, shutter speed, aperture.
I think composition has a lot to do with it as well. I think if you're looking at it from a videographer standpoint, I know you bring this up a lot about certain films that you love, certain films that the story could be trash, but if it's it's beautiful to look at. Not saying that 205 is beautifully shot, but if you look at
how it flows,
like the flows, like the color palette for each scene, like the composition is there, and 1 or 2 days shooting it, and then you ended up going back to Birmingham to get some pickup shots for it.
Yeah, shout out to Jonathan Wedlin, who is a big part of me getting into it, because he was the camera guy. He took great photos. He was super young, and he kind of like, he gave me a lot of inspiration because he always had a better camera than me. And which if we can talk about God video, the God video, there's a lot of like older videos of myself I'm really happy about, because I can go watch them. And like I'm like, yeah, that's older and I wasn't as good, but the video and what I put into it now, like, it still shows that like I had a vision for it. But,
right. And even those earlier videos that when we shot 205, were we doing? Had we branded as LCY yet? I guess we had.
Yeah, because we had the Lawnchair shirts.
But not too far. At what point? Yeah, let's back up a little bit. So friendship-wise, we were always super creative, and we started Lawnchair Youth as a clothing company, wasn't it? It was supposed to be just a clothing brand that was kind of associated with the rap, but not like focused on that. It was more of, hey, this is our cool clothing line.
Yeah, like Most Dope.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, perfect.
Just like Most Dope.
So how did let's talk about that. Why would you say that? How did LCY come to be?
LCY came to be because we were hanging out a lot. We're in your house by your computer. You were incredible at designing, and you kept coming up with all these names for stuff, and you just couldn't make anything stick longer than a couple of things. So you had Honest Fight, Never Back Down.
LCY was just one of those names that was thrown out there.
Yeah, so because we were just like, what do we want to do? And then like jokingly, like we were just putting stuff together, and we were like Lawnchair Youth, and we were like, and like when you look at it, it's like, what does Lawnchair Youth mean? And so, and this is my interpretation. I want you to do your interpretation too. So the meaning of Lawnchair Youth, or LCY, some people say Lucy, I don't know why, but LCY, which stands for Lawnchair Youth, I think Lawnchair Youth comes to a point of like us, where to a lot of people we're considered the lazy generation. We're the people that just like to benefit from what we're given. Like a lot of people are like, oh, you're so it must be nice being born in this time so you understand everything. And then that's where we have Lawnchair Youth, and we have a slogan, far from the lazy, that I just randomly came up with one day, and it from a lyric in a song, which happens a lot, by the way. But like, that's my interpretation of what I think Lawnchair Youth means. I'm guessing. Do you feel the same pretty much on that, or do you?
Yeah, that makes sense. When we came up with the name, and then that day I went home and came up with the chair logo and sent it to you.
It just fit.
Really, when I initially came up with Lawnchair Youth, it was because we were hanging around the pool every day all summer for like 3 summers, and if it wasn't at my pool, we were at Liz's pool. Yeah. It's like we had our group of friends. And to me, that was like, oh, this is like the crew name, we're like LCY. But, as time went on, people grew apart. But
not us.
When I initially made that logo, the chair was in like a little kiddie pool. And then there's like an umbrella, and there's like a 6-pack. It's like, but I ditched all that and just kept the chair.
Because we wanted to, which was like a big part of me. Like some people would be like, why is it just a chair? And which is like, this is getting a little bit astray from the, I guess, like the topic of like the engineering stuff, but this is the background of like why we are doing this stuff. And this is I would say a perfect example of where we're just kids doing stuff, and even though it meant nothing at the time and had no, me and Zach are crazy in debt at this point, technically,
but we're building the foundation. We didn't know it. Had no idea.
The memories are worth more than the money that we spend on it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like that lawn chair, like Zach designed, it's a lawn chair. I mean, it says literally a little small lawn chair, the size of a quarter, which we went from like the size of $50 to the size of a quarter to a little bit bigger to a little bit smaller, trying to find the perfect size to put onto a T-shirt. And people would be like, and so this is like a big thing too. Is like people will be like, why is the I got a little burp there. Why is the logo so small? And I was like, well, let's think about any major brand.
Like a Polo.
Yeah, Polo's small. The Alligator, the Vineyard. Like it's just a brand. It's on the T-shirt. It's a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And from like doing that and explaining it to people, and like people would understand a little bit more. And there's people like today on my story. Did you watch my latest story where it's C Money with the money? I have C Money was just cruising around in his car today, flashing his money on Instagram, and he was wearing my LCY shirt.
Oh, hell yeah.
He was wearing that one, the red one.
Yeah.
And every single time I wear that hoodie in public, at work or around any of my friends, everyone asks me, "Hey, can I get an LCY hoodie?
Mm-hmm.
Can I get yada yada?"
Yeah.
It's because I've built this brand to correlate with what I do, and even though I would say that I wouldn't even say the clothes are cool looking. They're just
I would. I would
like flashy or anything like that. They're a t-shirt. They're a t-shirt with a text on it. Like, it's not that they're like super cool looking or they're kind of like far-fetched, especially like the nowadays where everyone has like little small text on the middle of a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's just now caught on. That wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah.
But I think too the appealing part for me transitioning into making LCY a brand is because not only did I design all the logos and you pitch me different ideas for cool stuff, we then side by side hand printed all this stuff and then we ran our own store. And then to me, that was the appealing part, which I guess is why I think those shirts are so cool, is because
we did that.
It's so simple, but yeah, no, I hand printed that shirt that C Money's wearing in that video.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. So then we transition out of branding because we're now spending more money than we're making.
Yeah, and that's why. So pretty much LCY stopped as a clothing company.
Yeah, but we didn't want to lose the name because it's us.
Yeah, and it still fits us to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am far from lazy. I can tell you that. I am super far from lazy. I'm always doing something, and I always want to be creative. I'm always spending money, which some people might think is a bad thing, but the money that I put forward is I have money for my rent, I have money for my life, then I have money for what I'm passionate about.
Mm-hmm. And
that's the hardest thing to do, I think, as a person starting out, is they don't know how to divvy up what is going to go towards which of those.
Right.
And sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes if you work at Arby's and you're working 55 hours a week, and that 55 hours a week in 2 weeks only accumulates up to $600.
Yeah. And then you're like, where's the six? You really got to figure out where that money's going to go.
Like I can't, like, I remember getting my first check from like my step up job that I have now. Because I do work full time and then do video work, but from like first step up job check, and it was like $300 more than I've ever got in 2 weeks. And I was like, I have all this extra money. Mm-hmm. Now I can move out. And then that led to me and Zach getting our first house.
Yeah.
Which is where we had like so much aspiration of what we wanted to do. But at the same time, me and Zach had the potential to really do everything, and in this house that we're doing the podcast in, but our schedules were just too bad.
Yeah, it was a rough year,
and that's like the big thing with some people. If you're working with other people, it's hard to do work with someone if there's a lot of conflict between them. Not conflict. With us, it's not a lot of conflict about our personalities.
Right.
Because me and Zach can hang out with each other every single day and barely talk to each other. I mean, it's just that. But when it came to, hey, we should start doing this, it's like, I can't because I'm tired, or I have to work in the morning, or yada yada. It wasn't more of an excuse. It was just more priorities.
It's just life, yeah.
And priorities definitely took over us from doing work like that, and which moved on to me completely kind of getting away from you and all of that aspect because you just didn't have time.
Right.
Like I couldn't even get you to design stuff because you just...
Right. Yeah, I lost touch with all the stuff I was doing. I lost touch with my own
And I had to get my t-shirts made by TJ. Like I had to go outsource for, again, the last LCY shirts that did not sell at all. I started just giving the shirts away, selling them on eBay.
Man.
Which I need to probably do that again. I need to get rid of those. If you want some LCY, leave some S in the chat.
So LCY is kind of going down, but you're still doing your rap, but you're kind of almost, up to this point of us living together, you're kind of deviating away from, you're not writing music as often.
I did all this rap stuff and no one cared. I mean, that's like the big end all be all of it is I did all this stuff and I thought it was going to like blow up. I thought it was going to be popular and it doesn't. And that's like a big hard thing for a person that's creative is to see your art not work out. And then also you start just doing something for fun and on the side and it gains way more traction than anything you ever did. So shooting these hardcore shows, like just being the person to record stationary stuff, like literally I put my camera on a tripod and hit play and it records a band and then I just slowly cut 10 minutes to 15 minutes and put it online and it gets thousands of views and everyone comments and shares it and people find out who you are and subscribe and you're like,
what the hell, man?
Like why are they doing this?
Right.
I guess the same thing with Cole Bennett. Cole Bennett shot behind the scenes of a video for Famous Dex, and then Famous Dex hit him up for a real video.
Right.
Just never know.
Yeah.
Same thing with like King. Like I shot a King video, and then Slat hit me up for a video, which that's a whole nother topic we'll get into. But that's like the cool thing and the frustrating thing about being a video maker. And I get this all the time from people on Instagram. Like people hit me up on Instagram. I think every day or two, someone's like, "Hey man, what do you think of this?" And it's their video work they've been doing because they think that having validation from me will really like boost them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also hard on me personally because I want to, if it's bad, I want to tell them it's bad or what they should do better.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say it's bad, but I'll be like, I'll tell them like what I think they should do better, what can make them better. Like give them a very honest opinion, and which is what bit me in the ass when I was younger. Because you remember when I was in the Hour Reckoning and Persephone and stuff like that, people just don't know how to handle criticism, constructive criticism.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna say, yeah, you just should just not do that. Like, so I really enjoy people reaching out to me and then giving me positivity, and while I'm able to exchange that with them and tell them, hey, you're doing a good job, or seeing more videographers from Birmingham, because the thing is though I'm really worried about nowadays becomes the money thing. So have you seen anything about the latest thing about the 3 rappers? There's a video that came out like a day or two ago where it put a bunch of rappers like Blueface. So like Blueface, for example, they have, are you passionate about of rapping? He's like, no, I just do it for money. Cardi B said the same thing, and another person said the same thing.
No, I haven't seen that.
And this is not saying I don't want to do music with them or videos for them or anything, but like they are literally in the market of making rap and just saying whatever and not being lyrical. And they even say it on record saying they don't want to be lyrical for the art of hip hop because it's profitable and it's a business, which is fine. I mean,
there's money to be made. I mean, I see both sides of it because there's money to be made. This is what people love. I mean, you're not the number one person in the country, in the freaking world for rapping nonsense for no reason. I fall into it a lot with a lot of artists, not just hip hop, but if it's just a catchy tune, I zone out. I couldn't tell you what my favorite song's lyrics are, but I love the beat.
And a good thing about that, same thing goes for video works. So for example, if you go, I try not to do this with me personally, but like if you go look at almost any famous videographer who does videos like every single week and you watch every one of his videos, it's most of the time the same video every single time.
It's a copy and paste.
Cut. And if you go look at my old stuff, it's kind of like that a little bit. And more of my newer stuff, I focus more on the cinematic aspect of video, which we can do. That could be another topic too, where we talk about how you construct your videos. There's a lot of episodes we can kind of like go into.
I think is this the LCY podcast? Is this what this is?
Yeah, we can do the Lawnchair Youth podcast.
You just break down the origins of LCY, how to shoot a video, the angles to use, the equipment that you use, inspirations that you find.
And then
we're figuring this out as we go.
The keys to success. Major key alert.
Yeah.
but yeah, and which I think this is what a lot of people are gonna. I think a lot of people would enjoy this, in the sense of we're not gonna probably have like a huge. We might not have a huge audience that might be into this, but the people that I talk to on a daily basis and want to hear about what I'm doing and how to be better at what they're doing. Like I would benefit from this. I listen to people all like my favorite people are Peter McKinnon, Maddie, YCL Imagery. There's a bunch of YouTubers on YouTube. I watch their videos every single week. Matt DeVelli, which I talk a lot on the Mochi podcast. Like, man, these guys just they change me. They make me spend money.
It's your influences, yes. Who all influenced by.
It just makes it they're the reasons why they push me creatively, because I want to be as good as they are. And sometimes to be good as them is not impossible. Like, I don't have enough resources. I don't have endorsements. I don't have any of that stuff. How do you get that stuff? Where do you start? What is a good way to put your money towards something? Where do you want to see yourself year by year, month by month? And that is become huge for me, is checking my statistics, the minutes watched, the amount of viewers, the amount of subscribers. Every single month go up and up. I have not had since November. I've not had a down month. I've only gone up every single month.
That's awesome. But you got to start somewhere. So you start shooting videos, but how do you get to the point where people are finally coming to you being like, hey, I want you to shoot my music video? Like, there's a lot of times, there was a lot of times back when you're constantly putting out, like, just let me shoot your music video. I'll do it for free. Just let me shoot, putting yourself out there, because you kind of have to build a portfolio. You can't just come into this YouTube game. You could have the most expensive camera in the world and the best editing software, but if you don't have a portfolio to back it up, or you come into the game and you're like, $900 for a video. All right, what do you have to show for it? Nothing. It's my first one. Yeah, you're not going to get business that way.
Yeah.
So what is that like, building, I wouldn't say a community, but building like a
repertoire?
Yeah, like, so how is that starting? Because it's not like you go out and the first artist you shoot pops off. Like, you got to take chances. You got to put yourself out there. And
I'm going to go see the first video, that the first video from 2017 that I shot.
That's not you, but it's one that you shot. Yeah.
The first person I think that really wanted a music video from me after seeing music videos would have to be Jason. So shout out Jason. He used to be Jason Can Fly, but Jason, or @1Jason, I think, on Instagram. He if we have links or anything, we can put him in there. But Jason hit me up and he wanted me to shoot a video called Richer and Lonelier. And that's a year ago. And then from there, then I shot a Youngblood video, which is one of my friends. And then I shot a K1 video, which is my best friend. And so I shot them, and then I did a B-Not video with Paradise. So these are I shot videos for my friends. And I charged them too. I shot Jason's first video for $150. I shot B-Not's video for $150. I started just $150.
Yeah.
And
it's your friends too, so they get it.
Yeah. And then we got to this one time. There's a video that I put out last year called Jack Money. And I shot a video for Jack Money. And Zach remembers this, hopefully vividly. I shot a movie for Jack Money, and I didn't have Final Cut Pro, the real version. I had the broken version. I guess it broke, but I had the pirated version,
the bootleg.
Yeah, and I got to a point where I was editing the video, and the entire video completely went, and I lost the entire program. I couldn't edit any more videos, and I had to give B-Not all his money back. So I spent all this time on something and lost all my money, and then I no longer had a program to edit videos. I thought that was the lowest part. If now I've lost my computer that's going to be able to do all this stuff. I've lost a program I'm going to be able to do this stuff. I've lost a big client of mine that was potentially going to do, and then look at B-Not now. Yeah. B-Not, shout out to you, man. You're doing incredible. I wish you were here so you could be on this, because it'd be a good podcast for you to talk on. But like, there's all these aspects of what are you going to do in the worst situations? And the worst situation in that point was losing the ability to even create without it looking bad like an iMovie.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I buckled down and saved my money up and bought the real version of it. And then, and I struggled for a while. I had no one to do videos for me. I didn't shoot anyone's music videos. I would do one here or there, but like nothing would stick until last year I'm going to give an exact date if that's okay. February 26, 2018 was the first time I released a video. I charged $300 for it. They came into my work. They were interested in buying a camera, and they bought a camera from me. And then they saw that I did music videos. They asked me if I wanted to shoot one for them while they were trying to learn the camera. They just wanted me to kind of get there, show them kind of like how it's done. And I shot them a music video for $300, gave it back to them. And then they wanted 4 more videos after that.
Wow.
And then from that one video, GBF King saw the video. And then I shot his first video ever. It kept getting more and more. Like, I got calls every week. I got people messaging me asking how much I charge. And the thing is, you're 100% going to get people asking you, as soon as like stuff starts going good, people are going to ask you to do videos and get booked, and you're going to tell them how much you charge, and they're going to say, nah, I'm good, or they're going to say stuff like that, because people want handouts. They want to see what they can really get. It's like haggling on Facebook. I mean, Marketplace, same way.
Oh yeah.
And I've done free videos. I still do free videos every once in a while. Like, every single video you see me put out, I didn't charge always the same price for those.
Right.
You know, there's you know, I'm a businessman, so I look at stuff completely different. Mm-hmm. And that's no, like, you know, it's not to say you're a liability, but like, I play my cards in the way that is potentially more profitable, and also more of reaching what I want to with the audience.
Right.
And
because you got to look at it from a business standpoint. From what you've come from since February to now, business wise, I mean, business is booming, man. Mm-hmm. And so you get to a certain point, you kind of gotta. I'd like to do an episode on just the business aspect of it. Yeah. Because to me, that's super interesting, and I've got some comments on it, but yeah, I won't say actual numbers
or number of how much money I make from it or anything like that, because that's not important in it.
Right.
It's more important that it's possible, it's doable, and what you put your mind to and how you network with people can really build yourself up, the community you're from up, and every other aspect of your life. Mm-hmm. Like, damn, quote me on that right there. Put my face in a little white text like I died right there.
But no, like you were saying though, that's what I was trying to get into. You worked with different artists. Not everyone had the same rate, because as you're building a portfolio and as you're getting your name out there, more and more people are seeing your work, and more people are interested in your work. And you, as someone, you know, anyone listening to this who's wanting to get into video production, you don't want to cut off future business coming your way because they can't quite pay you your rates. Like, if they're, you know, you can read people, and if they're ambitious about the video that they want to shoot and they're for real about it and you want to do it, don't, you know, oh no, I charge $300 and they can only pay $200. Like, you know, because you never you never know shooting their video and then uploading it, who else is going to see that and come to you?
Especially when we get into the YouTube aspect of all these videos, it completely changes depending on your audience too.
Mm-hmm.
So like, hopefully I have people on Instagram every week that are like super excited that I might drop something. Like I don't post for 3 to 5 days sometimes, and because I think stories are more important than posts sometimes.
It's weird how that's worked now. Yeah. So you shot that guy's video. He gets 4 more. GBF King comes to you. You shoot his. Then more and more people are coming to you. You're like, hey, these are my rates. Some people are like, heck yeah. Other people are like, no, not quite. But you're still shooting all these videos and getting bigger and bigger. Mm-hmm. And really the growth that's like you said, from February of 2018,
mm-hmm.
It's been a year and 2 months, a year and a month.
So I'm also, and Zach knows this too, I'm a big, I write down everything. I write down how many videos, how much money I make from them. I keep all that cataloged.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, I've shot 21 videos this year already. And it's March.
Just this year?
You remember how many I shot last year? I said it in this podcast. 30?
30?
38.
Huh.
I only shot 38 videos last year. Shot 21 already.
Oh.
I have 6 this week. I try to be super nice with every single person, understanding money comes, but more of the aspect is the vision. There's some people that have no money, that they don't have money at the shoot, and then I tell them like, hey, you know, I have rules for, you know, you have at least to have half the deposit at the shoot, and then you pay me the other half. You can pay me all of it, you know. And then there's some people that can't even do that. But there's been times where I'll shoot them a video and say I'll start editing it once you send me half.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have like 3 videos I think on my hard drive, that are just sitting on there that need to be edited, but they never paid me.
Right.
Most of my money actually comes from people that I shot videos for again.
Return business.
Yeah, return business is the biggest. That's how. I mean, how do you think Cole Bennett gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger? If I go to his channel, his top 5, 6, 10 videos, I bet most of them are repeat people. You know, that's just how it is. Like, if you want to build your audience, you are building the audience for them. Mm-hmm. My visuals are bringing to life some of these people's, you know, dreams. I mean,
yeah.
And
which is cool too, because LCY as a channel on YouTube, as a brand, as a following on Instagram, as this social media production, I would say, it's, yeah, people come to you now wanting visuals from you and promoted and posted by you, because they may not have that audience listening to them and know about them. So that's super cool for business, is people, they want it on LCY. They want it uploaded there.
It's also easier for them, because building your own YouTube channel is incredibly hard nowadays versus like when we started. So like I generally love when I'm like, hey, this is the price for the video. And at the end of it, are you want to upload? And I give them the option every time. Do you want to upload your channel, or would you rather just put it on mine and I'll send you the links and do all the promo and all that stuff? And they're like, yeah, you can just put it on yours, because it's so much less work. They're like, hey, here's my money. You do everything.
Right.
Genius. Like it's literally, if you know, making your own channel and building your own brand, and once we get into the financial part of another episode, I'll talk way more into that. Sure. And the thing is, I haven't even experienced that yet. So this is just talking from people I know and how it works. And I'm excited to see what this year really brings.
Oh, for sure.
To LCY Media. But I guess closing out of this like episode, I would say the biggest thing is going to be networking, finding what you want to be and what you want to do and how you can achieve that. It sounds super cliche, but in a way that is completely doable to your own guidelines. So like I've had way more falls than I've had ups. It is rough. It is extremely rough. My parents know it. My best friends know it. My girlfriend knows it. Like it's not easy, and that's kind of the fun in it. Is if it was easy, everyone would do it, and it would be saturated, and nothing would ever, who would care. But not everyone's good at it. And the people that show up and they deliver and they continue to deliver and they never hold up, that's what really will set you apart from the other people and boost you. And I hopefully by the end of this year, I can really take it to another level. But just like Cole Bennett, and like Director X and Hype Williams, and just any big filmmaker, it just takes one video.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was rapping, I would tweet at Kanye whenever I dropped a song or something like that, hoping he might just retweet one of my album links or something like that, because one retweet could have changed my life. One video might have changed my life. You never know. You just never know. And it's such a beautiful thing and kind of a cursed thing at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I agree.
If you believe in something and you have the friends that kind of push you and want to do it, which is not going to be a lot of them. A lot of them just want their share.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's me and Zach that work together to build LCY. And it was just us. Like, we did it all. There's people here and there that helped and wore the clothes, purchased, and helped like that. And you guys meant the world when we did it. But at the end of the day, what we put into them as a clothes, and as now that we put more into the brand, it might become more than us having paint on our hands and pressing gilded t-shirts, and then buying,
losing feelings in our fingers.
Yeah, and then making stickers, and then there's just so much stuff that can really go into it.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, you're gonna love and hate what you do sometimes, because you will notice your flaws, but that's part of it. You have to make your flaws become something cool. And nothing is better than overcoming something that you weren't good at. But we started out not having a name. Now we have a name. It's the Lawnchair Youth Podcast.
Is that what we're rolling with?
Yeah, we'll just do the LCY pod. We can call it the LCY Podcast. Lawnchair Youth, I think, sounds better.
Yeah, whatever.
So this is the Lawnchair Youth Podcast. And this has been your host, Tim, and my co-host, Zach. Yeah, we're just really passionate about what is possible nowadays versus when we were younger.
What we've tried to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And of all the things to take off of everything that we've achieved, and this is it. It's crazy. I want to keep talking about it.
Yeah.
So
I'll see y'all next week or next day, whatever we want to do on the Lawnchair Youth Podcast.